what is the most inspiring is the people in this program. Like you meet people that, looking to actually be the best version of themselves every day. And it's very special.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. This episode is powered by J Ventures, a community-driven VC fund in Silicon Valley in partnership with Leumi Tech, sponsored by Homeward Ventures, Hippo Insurance, Upwest Labs, Synergy Global, Hillel at Stanford, Leap, Birthright Excel, Serona Partners, and in media partnership with CTech. Let's talk about the world of gaming with Roy Raz, the CEO and founder of Avivo Games. Roy is an entrepreneur, a veteran within the mobile gaming industry with over 8 years of experience, and today he is the founder and CEO of Avivo Games. He holds a BSc in Industrial Engineering. Roy, you've done you had such an interesting career journey. I'm not even going to try to go over it from looking at social platforms like Acharai and being an area manager for 4 years, one of the most inspiring organizations in Israel. Looking at leadership at the end, this show is about leadership, to being co-founder and CEO of multiple groups that are dealing with the publication of high quality, fun, and satisfying games, and most recently in the last almost 3 years, Avivo Games, working with developers around the world to take their games to the next level. I did not grow up as a gamer. I've had the conception in my head most of my life that those that are gaming are wasting their time, they're killing brain cells, and they're not doing meaningful things. And pretty recently, in the last few years, as the world continues to transition and consumer behavior continues to shift, I've gotten to different understandings and gotten to understand, the different benefits, and that perhaps I was looking at it from a little bit of an older lens with less education myself in it. So, Roy, I'm excited to talk to you about your perspective, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much. I would love to share from my experience and knowledge about a so exciting industry, the gaming industry, and about all my journey as an entrepreneur. So I'm waiting.
Incredible.
I'm waiting to share.
So Roy, I want to start with this question of the morality of games. It's a crucial question to understand, and it guides this industry. That it obviously doesn't stop the industry, and I think we both know why. But you're looking at a person like yourself for 4 years, being an area manager, executive within Acharai, which is all about empowering youth, getting them to be better, to get out of difficult situations, to make them better leaders, of being a leader yourself. And then we look at the other side, which is being a leader of mobile game studios and companies, which some people would say is not doing well for society. How do you think through that? What do you say to those types of people?
So I think it's all about, first, I agree that it's very different. I mean, social impact is one thing, and all the activities in Acharai was really, really, really meaningful, and really, I really like it. I enjoyed it so much, and I felt like I really making a huge positive impact on the gaming industry, or leading a startup company is answering the same meaning in a way that, like, first, leading a company is to me, to Roy, is meaningful in the same level. I mean, I managed to inspire my employees, to motivate them, to make a process with them, to help them learn, to help them grow, to help them, reach their personal goals. So speaking about, being instructor in Acharai and being a CEO at Avivo Games in a manner of, making process with people, to me, it's the same. It's even stronger when in the industry, because the environment is more challenging. We are competing against huge other gaming companies. So again, to me, it's it's meaningful in the same level. I can understand that people from the outside can claim that, someone can claim that, working with youth in the neighborhoods is more important. So I'm trying to combine. I'm trying to stick to social impact and making a lot of activities in the in the community. Now we as a company also like supporting a venture or like non-profit organization called Taasieda. So here we are supporting them with the knowledge that we have about the industry and helping youth to know better what is going on in the industry, in the startup economy. And so, yeah, the answer is to combine. And as long as you feel that you get the meaning of what you're doing, I think you're in a good place.
I love it. And I think this is also, we're going to come back to this a little bit when we're talking about the leadership program that you're doing now, which is also a phenomenal program. If we're looking at hyper casual games, and I'm not familiar enough with the industry, and I'd love to first stay 30,000 feet in the air. What are hyper casual games, and where is Ovivo positioned today within the worldwide creation of these games?
So hyper casual games are actually like the most popular genre in the past 3-4 years. In the top 30 games, if you look at the mobile app stores, Android, like Google Play and Apple Store, you will see that 70% of the games are hyper casual games, like in terms of downloads. If you look at the top 30. Mm-hmm. So like it means like about 30 million new users a day that download and play hyper casual. It's a huge number. The hyper casual genre is actually like fun, simple games with literally tap to play games with quick sessions, very satisfying results. It's so easy to understand, and it's like super satisfying. I love to explain it in a way that like it's games that you can play while holding the device in one hand. It's always on a portrait view, and you can play it on one hand during your holding the when you're taking the metro, and you're free with one hand, so you have a few minutes to kill. Hyper casual is a genre for you. The development cycle of this game is also quick, so the production time is fast. You need to act fast. The games are heavily based on trends on social media like TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. So the trends are like if you catch the trend and you manage to execute fast, then you have a greater potential to make a hit game. Also,
now, if I'm looking at the development complexity versus the development complexity of games versus the complexity of understanding the trends, where is really the differentiation here? Are you focusing most of your time on understanding consumer behavior and what's happening around the world, or is it mostly in the development and making the games themselves with the best graphics, with the most seamless, with the best user experience?
So we are using a lot of A/B test techniques in order to understand what the trend is. So first, we monitor the market in a very good way, so we can see everything that happens, like every new game that is published by any of our competitors, any new trend that's rising at this very moment. So once we see that there is a trend, what we do is that we run a quick prototype. We test it by promoting it in social media, for example, in Facebook. We run quick marketability test campaign, and we get a very quick feeling of like what is the CPI, the cost per install that this game might generate. So instead of working hard and developing a full game in the very first day, from the beginning, what we do is running a quick prototype, test it quickly, measure it, and take the decision if we kill it or move forward to publish it. That's the main concept here. So expertise on user acquisition is essential here. Like you must be expert in user acquisition in order to run this and execute this test like as efficient as possible.
Are there given metrics that that you want to follow, that if you meet them, then this is considered a good viral game or a good hyper casual game? Is this a set metric that you would uphold every game that you put out, or does it change between categories and between games?
Yeah, it's a great question, Michael. So yeah, sure. There is like KPIs for a hit game. So a hit game must generate 30 cents CPI, cost per install, in the US market, or less, of course, but and think about it, it's like extremely cheap CPI, extremely cheap cost per install. If you compare it to other gaming genre, like, in social casino, it can be like $15, even $20 cost per install. Here we're speaking about 30 cents in the US market. Second, once the marketability KPI is met, then the next phase is the product KPI, which are focused mainly on retention. So we are looking on 45% day one retention, 22% day three, and 15% day seven. Now, what is tricky here is that these KPIs are really, really, really hard to reach. Really hard to reach. It means that if you think about the industry, think about the developer on the other side of the world that is working hard on creating this game, and then he tried to publish the game with the publisher. I mean, it's a given fact that the studio can't publish it by itself. I mean, no way that the studio will publish without the publisher.
Right.
So studio must collaborate with the publisher in this case. And the chances to publish are very low, like less than 1%. Here is the opportunity that we actually see here in Ovivo, that a huge amount of developers looking for a publisher, but end up without publishing their game. The reason for this, the KPIs that I described before, are so hard to reach, because if you reach these KPIs, your game will generate like millions of dollars. But the thing is that I've never met a studio that told me, Ray, I'm targeting and I'm aiming only for $1 million or more. And I'm not happy with less. 99% of the studios are very, very, very satisfying. Will be very, 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 very satisfied from generating 100K a month, or even 10,000 a month of profit. So in this case, we do look at these KPIs that I described before, but we have more data on our side that we already gathered and collected based on the test that we did before, that we know also to predict what profit average game will generate. And we publish also games that didn't meet the CPI KPI, but was close to reach it, or meet it, but meet the CPI KPI, but on the product side, the retention was lower. And by making some adjustments, we know how to publish these type of games and generate, not making like hits of this game, but definitely make very nice profits to the developer and to ourselves. So this is very different approach that we developed at Ovivo to actually answer the huge gap between the studio needs and the publisher need. I mean, we are at this moment basically almost the only publishing house that look at the same that publish the games from the same point of view of the studio, or the same interest as the studio on the other side, which enable us to work with leading hyper casual studios worldwide.
Really, really interesting. This question of ditching a game. You've come up with some thesis, you've gone to develop it, whether it's fast or slow. There is an emotional attachment to what you've done, and there's always this conversation in your head. Let's just try one more thing. Let's try something else. Maybe we can get our CPI down. Maybe this will take off. is it a clear-cut thing when you need to ditch a game, or is there some conflict, internal or external, to maybe we should wait a little bit longer before we're saying we're not going to be supporting this game anymore?
So the magic word is like ignore gut feeling. We are data driven 100%. It's extremely data driven, you know, so we ignore gut feeling and we look on data and like, of course there is like games that are really, really, really on the borderline and you're not sure. So in this case, we'll give it another chance because we want to be sure that we give it like, you know, the 100% chance to succeed. But in most of the cases, it's black or white. I mean, or it's, you know, it looks promising or it's very far from being promising. So to answer your question, we are follow the data. What the data tells us, that's what we do.
Follow the data. And tell me a little bit about this leadership program that you're doing. After you sent it to me, I took a look and it looks fascinating. And how does that impact the way that you think through your own leadership style and leadership methods?
So it is very interesting program, which I started 2 months ago. It's called the Hoffman-Kaufman Leadership Program. It was founded by Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, and Professor Fred Kaufman, which is a VP in Google and an advisor for leading CEOs all over the world. Super inspiring person. He also the author of The Meaning Revolution, a book that I was just finished lately. Amazing. By the way, The Meaning Revolution book is exactly about how to manage and lead a company with meaning. Like, you know, meaning is the king today, to be honest. I mean, and I can speak more about meaning, but let's stick to your question. So about this program. So this program is like the content is in this program is inspiring in a way that we are dealing with maybe practicing daily, like meditation, Wim Hof breathing. Did you heard about Wim Hof? A crazy Dutch guy that have like superpower. The Iceman, exactly. The Iceman. He is crazy. Yeah. So the Iceman actually made me jump into an ice bath a week ago and stay there for 2 minutes inside the ice in a bath. So it was crazy. And in order to do that, by the way, to stay 2 minutes in a ice bath, you must practice your mind and focus in a way that, you know, it's the best practice to see, like, if you're going out of focus, you're punished immediately. You know, you see on your face, on the face of the person that's staying in the bath, that if he's not concentrated, if he's not focused, boom, he punished, because you see that he's starting to shake and like he's starting to freeze. And if you are focused about on your breathing, on your mental resilience during this practice, yeah, you can stay even for more than 2 minutes. We're practicing physical training. Like I'm running every day. The daily routine is starting with meditation, breathing, physical practice, reading. It's every day. It's like a habit that you practice and follow day by day. So this is how inspiring is it. In addition, we have a group of with a mentor that helping us to discuss about specific gaps that we experience every week in a different topic, and we raise in relation to the topic, we raise a gap that we want to discuss. So yeah, and on top of everything, what is the most inspiring is the people in this program. Like, you meet people that, you know, looking to actually be the best version of themselves every day. And it's very special, to be honest. It's very, very special to be surrounded by or to meet this type of people.
Phenomenal. Roy, sounds like an amazing journey with some really awesome insights into how the gaming world works and hyper casual gaming, the complexity. And I learned about all the different intricate details here of how you're thinking through games that are that are working, that are data driven. Put out the gut feeling, ignore the gut feeling, be focused, be resilient, taking from the leadership courses that you're doing, but also taking from the social the social good that you were doing with Acharai and that you're continuing to do. And it sounds like just a great balance all around in a really fascinating ecosystem that is just exploding. So Roy, thank you very, very much for your time and for your energy. I look forward to sharing this with the world, and thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much, Michael.